Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and Kansept Knives has a new division of Kansept EDC. And Kansept EDC has some beautifully machined artistic titanium tools for everyday carry with various jobs. We'll get to that. Now, Kansept Knives is well known for many different knives, high quality knives, including this mini corvid, which is a small cleaver. Now, as far as I can tell, on their site, there are over 50 different versions, 50. Actually, there's 54, according to my count, at least that have at some point been in production, versions of this knife with different handles, different accoutrements, different blade, I guess, paintings, colors, there's all sorts of different things. So 54 versions of that, pretty good. But anyway, let's get to this. I've got two of their titanium EDC tools here. Now, this one is known as the PryMate. It's a play on words, P-R-Y-M-A-T-E, or like primate, like a gorilla or something. But this one is a beautiful titanium pry bar, fairly stout. It's centered. Works as a screwdriver. In fact, that was one of the first things I wanted to say, is there really anything to this? Obviously, it would work as a slotted screwdriver, but I can also, on this side, turn a Phillips screw without a lot of work there. And then it has a 4, 8, and 10 millimeter hex cutout that does fit quite well. In fact, here's an example. You can see on this collar. It's nice and snug. Or down here. Obviously a bottle opener, got to have one of those. Pocket clip integrated into it, lanyard hole, finger hole, and what they're calling a glass breaker. Now if you carry this in your pocket, it might ride this way in the right hand front pocket against the back, which means you can easily pull it out and it locks into your hand, just like that for any screws that need opening. And then of course it has this glass breaker right up on the front end. So you might have seen objects similar to this in different configurations for prying stuff. But overall, lightweight, comes in several different colors. Just an elegant expression of easy EDC artistic wonder. So I wonder what I'll do with it. I can carry it around, can open things. Wonder if it has any other uses. If you can come up with any, let me know. This was designed by Sebastian Erewhon, and she is a designer who looks at organic shapes for inspiration. And that's one of the things I was looking at when I saw this. Sometimes I'll look, where are the potential weaknesses? Where's the thinnest spot? Because I've had pry bars where they just get down paper thin, where a couple of the tools start to overlap. In fact, when I first saw it, I wondered if maybe you could use this, sharpen those in for lanyard cutting or something, or cord cutting. But otherwise, it's just very handy, very simple, very potentially useful pry bar. But let's take a look at the next one here. This, this is called the Stiletto. And it was designed by Marco Pinella. He is an Italian knife designer of Marco Knives. And what's interesting about this is it has historical roots. It's kind of a modern, full titanium in kind of this crazy grid lightning strike pattern. It's a rather unusual tool, so I'm going to unscrew this back here, and you'll notice there are those little pins. Those move into this spot and act as the tool to extract this. What is this? Well, of course, it's an ice pick. It's made from 5CR13 stainless steel. And it screws then in right into the front. Hits the stop there, and then this screws right into the back. It did come with a silver lanyard as well. So this is an ice pick for picking ice. But it has its roots, according to the designer, in a tool that was known, if I'm saying it right, as a misericordia. And what that means or translates into is an act of mercy. Now, obviously, taking this out, especially when you have to use the tool, and assembling it might seem to take some time. Well, this wasn't, if it has that act of mercy pedigree, it doesn't need to take time, or it doesn't need to be a fast tool. What this was designed for in history, way back, was to put something out of its misery, the act of mercy. And it was designed similar to a long shaft of, well, what later might be a bayonet, or a very narrow sword or dagger. And the idea was, if you were wearing armor, there were some entrance points to some fairly sensitive areas. One of them being, say, the eye slits in your armor, or another potentially is under the arm, where there might be access to the heart. And if you were injured in battle, weren't going to make it, an enemy soldier, or I guess potentially even, one of your comrades, could take out their act of mercy knife and put you out of your misery, or put out whatever happens to be in misery. So that's kind of the history here. But overall, it's an elegant expression of a fairly unique tool. There are others. There are more modern ones. This actually is taking its roots from the same area. This sock P tool, call it, is actually a similar idea. This one has a whole defensive strategy, or offensive strategy too, I guess, tied into it. But the concept of having a very narrow, fairly long tool, ice pick, is ancient history. So it's kind of interesting to see somebody gain inspiration from something so primitive. However, I do hear things when people are talking about body armor and stuff like that, entrance areas. So it's kind of interesting. And I wanted to test this. So here we go. I'm just going to drop it right onto this board. Look at that. You can see, very sharp, beautiful expression. Take a close look at that finish work. You can see, at first I thought, are those tool marks? No, that's art. That's what art looks like on a blade. It's not required here. Incredibly sharp. Get that to focus there. I assume these holes, not only some more art, I guess, but also if you wedged it in somehow too tight, or it got debris in there and you couldn't easily move it with your fingers, you could stick something in there. Same here. Grab this if you needed, if it was slippery for some reason. But anyway, going into their EDC line, thinking about what they're doing, what Kansept EDC is doing. They have a couple of others as well, but these two are the ones that interested me. I'm going to do more with EDC tools, and I really like the ones that make you think. What could I do with it? Or what niche does this fill? Or why do I like it so much? Why is it just such a handy feeling, kind of unique tool? That's what EDC is all about. Things you want to carry. So anyway, there it is. The Stiletto comes in various colors, but all titanium. This is not necessarily, something you'd want to fidget around with too much. It is fun to fidget with. I've taken it apart and put it together many times, but you got to pay attention. There's a bite at this end. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you've got these, if you're interested in them, there's a link below to the website if you want to look at their other offerings, and hopefully we'll hear a lot more from Kansept EDC. And with that, Doc out.